Hello, Colleen. Hello there. How are you? Hi, Lynn. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Shirley. Hello, Flower. How are you? Good afternoon, Fiona. Hello, Karen. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you too. Well, virtually. Good afternoon, Kim. It's very wet here, but thankfully my conservatory is not leaking at the moment because the rain is not too heavy. So touch wood. Hello, hello, Sue. Hello, Carol. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, Jennifer. How are we all? How is everybody? Are we all keeping well? Hello, Jennifer. Is everybody keeping well? Hello, Neat. Hello there. How are you feeling after your procedure? How are you feeling? Hi, Helen. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I've been missing, haven't I, Karen? Been organising my room. Good afternoon, Roz. How are you, Roz? How's the fur baby? Hi, Vicky. It's been a while, hasn't it, Vicky? I know, it's not very nice, is it, Debbie? It's not very nice at all. Our own room. Hi, Lynn. No, it's not very nice here either, although it's still warm. I'm boiling. Hello, Chris. How are you, Chris? Is the family well? Hi, Sue. Yes, I'm absolutely boiling again. Different nail colour, Jennifer. Different nail colour. Hey, I'm getting posh, a different nail colour. Hi, Lynn. Yes, I'm all excited to get my nails done. I know it's hot here as well, Chantal. I'm absolutely boiling, I must admit. I'm just hoping the rain stays away for 8 weeks before my roof is done. We've got to have the whole roof done in 8 weeks. Yeah, it's warm and muggy, isn't it, Jennifer? It is warm and muggy. You're sore, but I'm okay. That's the main thing, Neat, that you're okay. Hope you're taking it easy. Hello, Piggy Sue. How's your new fur baby? Good afternoon, Madeline. It's not hot for Madeline. Oh, it's boiling here. Hey, Christine. How are you and your daughter? Hey, Lucy. How are you? Hope everybody's well, Lucy. Hope your other half's well. Hello, Linda. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I hope that fur baby of yours is behaving, Piggy Sue. It's very wet here too, Joe, but very muggy. So I'm just hoping it doesn't get heavier. Hello, Vanessa. How are you, Vanessa? It's very close. And we're all well. Yes, it's lovely to hear that you're well, Christine. Hello, Trudy. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. What have I been up to, Lucy? Well, I've designed a load of stamps. Which took me ages. That's taken an absolute age to design the stamps. And we've emptied my craft room out and it's had a good clean. And I've reorganised and decluttered and cleaned. And it's taken me 2 weeks, Lucy. Hello, Jane. Good afternoon. Oh, I'm glad to hear he's amazing, Piggy Sue. Hello, Linda. Oh, thank you, Linda, for the welcome back. Hello, Karen. Hello there. How are you, Flower? Hi, Steph. He's a dream. Oh, I still haven't seen a picture, Piggy Sue, of your new fur baby. Hello, Kira. Hello there. Hi, Rita. Hello, Flower. Sending hugs. I'm very well, Patsy. Are you? Yes, I've been designing new stamps. Not until October, though. Scotland is braw. Does that mean what does braw mean? And it's raining here in Cornwall. Not until October, Chantal, just to give you a little break. So not until October, but they're all designed. And Chrissy's helped with the declutter. Thanks, Chris. He started school last Saturday. Started school last Saturday. Oh, got to have a picky. And Linda got all the new stamps. Yay, Linda. That's brilliant. Oh, I've missed you all too. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I did them months ago. Absolutely months ago. So I've got a little giveaway for you. Let me show you the giveaway. If you'd like to share, that'd be lovely. But I've got a giveaway for you. You might think I'm slightly odd, but this is your giveaway. And I know what you're thinking. What the heck is that? So we've got a vintage frame, which I can't open. A vintage frame. And because it's vintage, there's a little bit missing here. But I thought that would look lovely. I've bought a small fan thing and you put cold water in it. Oh, might have to try that, June. Hello, Joanna. Hello there. Hi, Julie from Cornwall. So I've got this vintage frame for you, which I thought would look quite nice. Decorated, left as it is, painted. I thought that'd look quite nice. So there's a vintage frame. Hello, Mary. And I've got these vintage pegs for you. These vintage pegs. I thought they'd be quite nice in a mixed media piece. We've got a Stabilo all pencil for you because these are so useful. They're so useful to have the Stabilo all pencil. So I've got one of those for you. I've got a couple of frames so you can add those to your mixed media piece. A little house for your mixed media piece. And a couple of plaques. And some Cosmic Shimmer pixie powders, which I thought would be nice if you added papers in the background. Added the Cosmic Shimmer and then spritzed with water. So this is your little giveaway. So if you'd like to share, that'd be much appreciated. And I'll announce the winner in a couple of days. Just a randomly drawn winner. So it's a little bit different. Just a mixed media pack for you. Obviously you can use it how you wish, but I thought that was quite nice, especially the pegs in the frame, because they're actually vintage. So they're actually vintage pieces. So we'll move that out the way. They're divine, aren't they, Piggy Sue? They're lovely. Of course, I kept a couple for myself, Piggy Sue. Of course I did. I had to keep a couple for myself. Look, I've got a couple more for me. But just look at them. Look how you've got this rusty bit on the top. Oh, they're just lovely. I know I'm slightly weird, but there you go. I am weird. Right, what are we using today? So, let me just get my packs. So, I thought I'd use a couple of older sets. So, oh, I'm glad you like them. I just thought you might think I was a bit weird because I did vintage. Thanks very much for sharing, everybody. Thank you. Oh, bless Kim. Thanks very much. So, Lucy mentioned a while back about using some older sets. So, I thought when I come back, I'd use a couple of the older sets. So, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my butterfly from stamp set 267. Which is Nature Elements. So I'm going to use this element here, and it's got this beautiful element here. So I could use either, but I want to use this one. And I'm going to use Eclectic Silhouette, stamp set 113. Just thought I'd use a couple of old ones as requested by Lucy. And I did use one of my older sets in a recent video as well, which is also on YouTube. I used one of my older flower sets. So I'm just using a couple of older sets as requested by Lucy as well. You're very welcome with the giveaway. I haven't seen you for a bit, so I thought we'd got to have a giveaway, and it gave me time to get some vintage pieces for you. So it's wonderful. It worked perfectly well. Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks, Patsy. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Colleen. My granddad was a cooper at brewery and used to make those pegs for my mum. Really? Oh, wow, Linda. Wow. Right. So we're going to create a card this time. And I'm going to create something nice and simple, nothing too complicated. But sometimes I've not... you're very welcome, Lucy. I've not created anything now for about a week and a half because I've been designing the new stamp sets. And when I was thinking... Oh, thank you, Sarah. And when I was thinking... Thanks, Rita. When I was thinking about the older sets, I thought it's such a shame, like Lucy says, to ignore the older sets because the older sets are beautiful. They're just as nice. So it's nice to use some of the older sets and to show that I still love those sets, even though I have to keep using the new sets. So I still love those. To connect, so I use my son's. Hi, Ryan. Hello there. So what I've got is I've got a piece of white card, 300 GSM, and it's 6 inches by 6 inches. Hello, Juliet. Hello there. Tracy does a random pick of people. Yes, I do, Liz, a random. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some low-tack tape just around the edges of my card, just to mask off the edges of my card. So just low-tack tape I'm using. So you can use any low-tack tape. Can you tell something about the new sets? Is it garden thing? Can I tell you anything about the new sets? There's not many flowers. Does that tell you much? It's still nature inspired, but I just try to mix it up a little bit for you so you don't get bored. But I'm very proud of them, but it's been a lot of hard work, Chantal. But yes, just giving you a break until October, and then I'll be back with the new sets. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding the low-tack tape around my card. I like how Chantal laughs. Hello, Sandrine. Hello there. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Maybe wonky fruit. I'm never going to live down my wonkiness, am I? So what I've got now is I wanted, because I haven't created, I might have to look for a quirky hedgehog then, Chris. I'll have to see what I can come up with. So obviously when you're creating stamp designs, usually my stamp designs are a mixture of hand-drawn, ephemera or licensed imagery. And sometimes it's a mix of everything. So sometimes it takes an absolute age to get them to work, which it has done this time. So we'll see if you like them. Hello, Gina. Hello there. Is it October? You don't want it to be October yet. This tape is, it's in a blue box. I've forgotten the make now. I just got it from Amazon, the low-tack tape. But any low-tack tape. And if you haven't got low-tack tape, use masking tape. Add it to your clothes. So just press on your clothes and then lift it up and it'll get rid of some of the tackiness. Halloween hairs. Hey, we could have Halloween hairs. Oh yes, post a picture, Alison. I love seeing the flowers. Because we might know, because we love the garden. We know we'll, oh bless Chris. So what I've got here is, because I haven't done anything for a week and a half, what I do is, when I've not created for a while, well, that's a while for me, a week and a half, I normally create every day. Yes, or use washi tape. So normally I create every day. So when I haven't created for a week, I always go back to my vintage tones because it gets me going again. It starts me off. Yes, the Scotch Banjo, that's it. It is the Scotch Banjo. So what I'm using is I'm using Distress Oxide, Fossilized Amber and Vintage Photo. And I'm using these because it's like my go-to, my comfort blanket. These vintage tones are like my comfort blanket. So, yes, so removable tape, yes. So these are my comfort blanket colours. So I've got Fossilized Amber and Vintage Photo. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend, thank you, Lucy. I'm just going to blend some colour around the open aperture area because we've masked off this area here. And what I'm doing is I'm inking up my foam to make sure there's a good layer of ink. Hi, Jan. Hello there. Just making sure there's a good layer of ink. If you don't make sure you've got a good layer of ink, then you're not going to get a decent blend. You need to make sure you get a really good layer of ink, just so that when you're blending your ink, it's smooth. It doesn't sort of drag. That's the word I was looking for. If you add enough ink, then your tool doesn't drag. It doesn't drag across the card. So make sure you add enough ink to your blending tool. Hello, Jan, how are you? So I'm just making sure that I've got a lovely blend. So while I'm blending, what have you all been up to? I know Akina has been doing her room as well. Do you like doing Christmas cards, Jennifer? Well, there might be one in October that might pass for something for Christmas. It might pass in October, Jennifer. So you might be pleased. So what I'm doing Oh, thank you for sharing. So I'm just adding a layer of ink. So what have you been up to? So what have you all been up to? Have you done anything different? Have you been organising like I have? I know you've been creating because I've adored seeing the tag books. I've adored seeing the tag books. You're just all so talented. Right, can you see the blend? Can you see the blend on that Distress Fossilized Amber? It's a beautiful blend. Hello, Jill. So I've got a beautiful blend because I've added enough ink. A sunny afternoon. Hello, Angie. Guten Morgen. No, Guten Tag. Oh, I always get Guten Abend. That's it. Working as usual, hon. Oh, bless Christine. I've been the adopted mother to our new bulldog. Oh, Vanessa, a bulldog puppy. Where are the pictures? Vanessa, I need a picture of a bulldog puppy. I need a picture of a bulldog puppy. And what do you have to do? Do you never do Christmas cards? Yes, I do, Linda, but not very often. And Colleen's been knitting. Chrissy's been gel printing, which I saw, which is beautiful. Oh, and Jill's been working, bless her. I've started Weight Watchers. Wow, Joe, well done. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Totally Dotty stencil. I'm going to take the Totally Dotty stencil and just add this to my background. Melting with the heat and taking things easy. Oh, I don't blame you, Jane. Take it easy. No, it's wet in Chester. It's wet here as well, Alison. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, even though I've got the fossilized amber. Oh, a trip to IKEA. Oh, Vicky, I love a trip to IKEA. Oh, I love a trip to IKEA. So I may even be making a couple of Christmas cards with one of my stamps that's been released in October because it will work with it. So what I'm going to do is that even though I've applied fossilized amber to the background, I'm still going to apply fossilized amber to my stencil. And all that will give me is a tone on tone effect. All I'm doing it is to add some depth to the circles. That's the only reason I'm adding this colour. So I'm just adding some depth. Do you remember the Fab Outline Christmas stamps you sold? Oh, I do, Chris. I do remember the outline stamps. I do. I remember them with fondness. I remember creating ornaments with them. And my sister-in-law has still got one of the ornaments that I made. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. And I'm literally applying the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide again, plenty of ink. And then I'm just going to blend the Vintage Photo over my stencil. Now what you have to remember when you're blending, don't be in too much of a rush to do your blending. Don't rush it too much. If you rush it too much, it doesn't blend beautifully. I'm doing Angel with lace. She is 3-foot steel doll. Wow, Juliet, that sounds fab. Now what you need to do then is go back to the first colour to blend out the lines. So what you do is you go back to your first colour of Distress Oxide inks and you blend out the colour so that you've got no lines. You don't want any lines on your stenciling. So you go back to the first colour to blend everything out so that you layer the colours beautifully. It has been too hot, Roz. It was only you that sold. I think there was, Chris. Yes, it was only us that sold them. And that just, that brings back so many memories, Chris. It really does. So I'm just, if somebody could put a link up to my group, the main group, that would be wonderful. I don't know if anybody's got the time to find the link to my main group. That would be wonderful. Just to post that for Julie. If somebody could post the link to my main group for Julie, and then I can add Julie afterwards. So can you see, I've got a beautiful blend of colour. So I've got a beautiful blend there. Just get some kitchen roll. And it just means you take your time. You don't rush your blending. Don't be in too much of a rush to rush that blending. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some big splatters of water and just allow that to sit for a few moments. Oh, it was such lovely memories, Chris. I know, and that is nearly 11, is that nearly 11 years ago now, Chris? Can you believe that? 11 years ago. Oh, thank you very much, Chris, thank you. So it's just allowing the water to sit, thank you, Karen, allowing the water to sit on there just so that it reacts with the water, and then just give that a blot. Just so that it adds another layer to that background. It just lifts up the colour from the background. As we all know, most of us know how to do this anyway, but it's just nice because it's a nice simple background. And just give that a dry. Just giving that a dry. Oh, there we go. A few people have posted the link. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you. Yay, you're all so organised. So we've now got that, and if I'll lift it up closer so you can see, when I'm looking at it in real life, which doesn't show on the camera, the shading is beautiful. It doesn't show quite as much on the camera as it does in real life, but it is beautiful. So I'm just going to move these inks out the way, and what I'm going to do is a little bit of stamping with stamp set 350, which is the splattered numbers. Not that you'd know that I really like this stamp set, but just in case you've forgotten, I really like this stamp set. Ian? No, I thought Ian was coming in then. I was going to ask for my other scissors. What you do, Julie, is you click on that link and just request to join the group, which is just my art group. We'll add you, and then you'll see all the information once we add you. So I'm now using Distress Oxide Ground Espresso. I love this colour. So I'm just using Ground Espresso just to do some stamping. And I'm just going to add some random stamping. Can't pick my thing up. So I'm probably going to add it around about here, like so. So just lift that up and just add some random stamping. I love the Ground Espresso. There's a richness to it. There's a richness to that colour. Can you see? I've been using it today on tags. Oh, brilliant, Alison. When you're blending, how do you not contaminate the colours and the ink? Because the ink pad, so let me get this. So I don't worry about the oxides, Mary, because if it's contaminated because of that opaque quality, just swipe it across a piece of card and it won't do any harm. And if you go from light to dark, you won't contaminate. And because I'm using two separate tools, I'm using one for my fossilized amber and one for my vintage photo, I won't contaminate. But if I do contaminate, I don't panic because you can just swipe it across your non-stick craft sheet. But if you go from light to dark, then you will prevent that contamination even more. So yes, I use separate blending tools. Just means that I don't get that contamination. Okay? And if you've got any more questions, feel free. My number stamp is aging from continuous use. I agree, Hope. So what I'm going to do is I've got this circular stamp from Abs, and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail around the edges, just on a couple of the edges, just because these circles will coordinate with the circles from the stencil. So I'm just adding a little bit of the circles just on a couple of areas, just because it coordinates with my stencil. So I'm just adding a little bit of stamping just in a couple of places. And I'm just going to make sure I'm watching on my phone and Zach is watching you on his phone. Hi, Diane. Hello, Zach. Hello, both of you. Hope you're enjoying your time away, Diane. I'm just giving it a dry just to make sure that all those layers are dry. That's all I'm doing. Happy birthday, Chris. It's my birthday, that's why I'm late. Oh, happy birthday, Chris. Hope you're having a lovely day. I'm going to sneeze now, just a second. Excuse me, sorry about that. So what I'm going to do now is remove my low-tack tape, which I can't lift it because, there we go. So I'm just going to remove my low-tack tape. And if you pull it away from you like so, you won't tear your card. So just pull it away from you, then you won't tear your card. So every time you remove the tape, I always pull it away from me, and then you won't rip your card. It's always just a tip to pull it away from you. Everybody's saying happy birthday, Chris. So just pull it away from you when you remove the low-tack tape, like so. And then just remove this one. Hang on, which, I'm trying to see which, that's it. I couldn't see which was the top one and which was the base one. So just remove that. Just removing the low-tack tape. Like so. So just remove it so it's away from you and you don't rip your card. And then that gives you your background. Phew, I'm hot. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, bless you. Thanks, Chris. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring some other stamped imagery in. So this is our background, which we'll just place on one side at the moment. And then we're going to bring in some of the other stamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour the background. So I'm using a piece of acetate. So we've got more to add to this card. So we've got a piece of acetate, and I'm just applying my fossilized amber to the acetate. Don't press on the acetate like that, because you get a square. So you need to smoosh. You need to smoosh your ink pad across the acetate. Just move this out of the way, and then you need to spritz your acetate with water, and then smoosh it across your card. So just smoosh the ink across your card, which just means I can lay the ink exactly where I want to. So because I put it on the acetate, it means that ink goes exactly where I want it to. So I'm still using the fossilized amber and the vintage photo. So I'm just going to apply the vintage photo, and again, I smoosh the ink onto the acetate. Don't press it because you'll get square lines. And then just smoosh that ink across your card. It just gives you a nice quick background for stamping. Yes, enjoy your birthday, Chris. It just gives you a nice quick background for your stamping. And then what we can do is give that a dry. It could be, actually, you're right, Lucy. I could just leave that like that and put a sentiment, Lucy. And that would be a card in itself. I agree, Lucy. I just love doing backgrounds like that because it's lots of smooshing, Debbie. I like smooshing. As long as it's smooshing on the card, obviously. So I do like smooshing. So I'm just giving that a dry, but this creates a nice quick background for my stamping, just to add my stamping to it. So I'm just giving that a dry, like so. And I dried the front and back. Oh, I love fossilized amber, Alison. But then I've always loved fossilized amber. Hello, Patricia. So this just means that my background here for my stamping will coordinate with my background here that I've created. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp my butterfly. Can I pick the acrylic block up? No, I can't. So I'm now going to use the butterfly from my A4 stamp set. And I'm going to give this a really good inking with the VersaFine Clair ink pad. Yes, you could try out the triangles as well, Jane. I nearly did the triangles and then thought, no, I'm going to use the circles because I wanted to use the older sets, because I wanted to prove that so many stamps are beautiful and we shouldn't forget the older stamp sets. The older stamp sets, they're just as beautiful and the detail on them is just as beautiful. So I wanted to use some of the old stamp sets, and to give credit to Lucy, because Lucy asked if we could use some of the older stamp sets. So it was Lucy that prompted that. So I'm using the butterfly from one of my older stamp sets and I'm giving it a really good inking. The stamp set number is, bear with me a second, the stamp set number is 267. It's got the mushrooms on as well. 267. It's got the mushrooms on. So it's got both stamps on. So it's 267. So I always make sure that it's got a really good inking. And just remove that bit of ink that we've got on there. And then we're going to stamp this onto this background. I've got one that's already dried, but I haven't cut it out. So, like older lady, it's all right that you're late, Carolyn. It's not a problem at all. So I'm just lifting this acrylic block, allowing the ink to sit on there, just so that the ink, the black ink, soaks in to the fossilized amber and vintage photo layers of ink, just so that it soaks in perfectly. And I'm just lifting that acrylic block just to make sure I get this central area here. I love this butterfly. I just think it's so, well, of course I love it. You know, I'm supposed to love it. That's why I designed it. But just so that, like Lucy says, sometimes we should remember the older sets. But just look how beautiful that is. I mean, that just cut down, you could use on a card as it is. Just look at that. I think that is fab. And you've also got the pen nib that you could use on its own as well. Hello, Kim. Hello there. Phew, I'm hot. Oh, I am so hot. Phew. So it's just beautiful on its own. Just love it. So what we're going to do now is we just move this on one side, bring in our card, and I've got one I did earlier. And what I did was I stamped the Eclectic silhouette on the same kind of background. So we're going to talk to each other while I cut this silhouette out, because I didn't do any cutting out, because let's be honest, I didn't do any cutting out because my craft room is half put back. I've only put back half my craft room, so it still needs a little bit of work. So I still haven't finished my craft room, so I didn't do the cutting out because I was really engrossed in doing that. It's very close, isn't it? I see smooshing in my afternoon. Oh yes, yes, Fiona, some smooshing. I am absolutely boiling. Does anybody mind if I just go and get a fan? Just bear with me a sec. I'm just getting a fan, ladies. Just getting a fan. Won't be a moment. Sorry about that, ladies. Oh, absolutely muggy. Sorry about that. I just had to get a fan. The silhouette one, Alison, it's this stamp set, Alison. So it's the silhouette one on this one. And I just think it's fab because as when I design the stamps, I always design them so they work together. So it's just important, like Lucy said, that we don't forget the older sets. I think it's a shame. I've been seeing my daughter. That's all right, Margaret. So this is the one that the silhouette's on. And what I'm doing is I'm just cutting out that silhouette. And I don't find the silhouette a problem to cut out. I find it quite easy to cut out as long as I'm not looking at the comments. Am I the only one who's freezing? Freezing as in a cold temperature or freezing on screen? Sorry, yes, I seem to still be going. Nobody else has said that I'm freezing yet. I still seem to be moving on my screen. So everything seems okay. So I'm just cutting out my silhouette like so. And I'm not rushing the Facebook Live because we haven't seen each other for a while. So I'm just not rushing what I'm doing. And that's why I didn't do any of the cutting out, because I thought then we can have a chat. We can talk about what you've all been doing. So then we've got this lovely silhouette. Just want to cut out. None of them are terribly old. No, you're right, Lucy. No, you're right, Lucy. None of them are terribly old. The problem is, you know, it's very difficult because when you're a designer, it's, you know, it's always about what can you design next. And sometimes we overlook the old sets, and I'm not a great believer in that. I'm a great believer in that you use your old sets with your new sets. That's just me. I think you should use them both. So what I've got here is I've got my Eclectic silhouette, which will stand here, and I will add some shading as well. And I think I'll use, even though I've coloured them both, that one's got more brown on it. So I'm just going to blot this. Bear with me. Let me just get some paper. My best might come back out yet. So I'm just blotting that. You've got a cardigan on. Wow. Oh, maybe go back out and come back in if the comments aren't showing. And Lucy's, June's cold as well. I'm not cold. Seriously, I'm not cold. You must be joking. I'm not cold. So what I've got here is, so I've done the vintage tones because when I've not crafted, if you remember, I craft almost every day, and I've not crafted for over a week because I've been doing some organising. So what I tend to do is I tend to go to my comfort zone, and my comfort zone is vintage tones, mainly because I'm vintage as well, and I do like vintage elements, but it does match me. I'm actually vintage as well. So I'm just cutting out part of the butterfly, but can you see that you could add this to a card? Let me just cut this out like so. Just bear with me a second, then I can show you, give you different ideas as we go along, just so you can see the different ideas. I'm snuggled in a shawl. You're joking. I'm absolutely boiling here. I've just been to fetch the fan out of the room that Ian's working in, and I'm absolutely boiling. So no, but you could create that as a card, just like that, on the edge of a card. But I just want to use half of the what's it called, butterfly. I was looking at comments then. Could you give some inspiration for stamp set 331 with the knife, fork and spoon, please? Yes, Carolyn, I can. Yes, no problem at all. I will put some projects on Instagram soon as well, because I have done some projects with that set. So I'll add them to Instagram as well. But yes, of course I can, because that's what we're here for. So what I'm going to do is, this is my idea, is that the wing will go here like this. So I'm going to cut the pen nib off so that I've got the pen nib as an embellishment like that. So I've now got the pen nib as an embellishment like so. And then I can add the wing. You could add both wings if you want, or you could add one wing. So let's just see what it looks like with both wings, just because we're not in a rush. I will fess up. I have a hot water bottle on my back. Yeah, but that's because you're in pain, Neat. Oh, I mean, I am so boiling. I'm like a woman of a certain age, and my temperature's just going up and up and up. So that's why. So I'm just cutting this out, just cutting the other half of the wing out. So, and it doesn't take long to cut it out. I know some of you don't like fussy cutting, but this really is one of the simplest things to cut out. It doesn't take long at all. I have my heat pad on. Wow, I can't believe you're all cold. And Laura, it's in Alberta, it's 18 degrees. It's so close here. It's really muggy. It's really muggy. So it's not nice. That's why I had to go and fetch my fan. So I've got the wings here. So what you can do is you can add both wings if you wanted, like so. Can you see? You can add both wings, just so you can see it with both wings. But I'm not. I'm using 300 GSM white smooth card, Robin. But I'm not, because I want to see some of that text in the background. So I'm just going to add one wing. But just so you can see, you can add two wings and it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. Even with the two wings, it looks brilliant with the two wings. I'm going to add one wing, but also if you wanted a different card, you could also add the butterfly just to your background like this, and then add a sentiment across here like this, like so. You could add your sentiment along there like that, and then you're getting 3 different cards for the same stamp set. I'm so sorry to hear that. What are we so sorry to hear? Where's Jennifer now? What have I missed? Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that, Jennifer. I've just read the message, so I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm going to add this here, like so, and I'm going to add some cotton, if I can find my cotton thread. Sending hugs, Jennifer, everybody's saying. Oh, do you know what I've done? Because I've tidied up, I haven't pulled my glue out. I've had to pull a glue out. I didn't pull a glue out. So let me see if this is open. This is a new glue. So just sorting my glue out. Just while you all send your condolences to Jennifer. Just sort my glue and pause for a moment. Yes, it is lovely that Jennifer's joined us, especially when it's such a difficult time. So I'm just going to pause for a moment while you all send your condolences to Jennifer. So before I carry on, I'll just wait a few moments. I'm not doing anything, I'm just adding my cotton. Just wanted to pause for a few moments while you just send your condolences to Jennifer. My husband is ill at the present. Oh, Gina. This is when you forget, you see, some people are going through difficult times. My glue is now all watery. Just bear with me a second while I get my glue going. Let me get my glue going. That's better. It was all watery. So yes, sometimes you forget that people are going through difficult times. So I'm just going to add my little man here and my wing. Just add this. So yes, thank you for joining us, Jennifer. So I'm just going to add this wing here, like so. Just adhering that, like so. Just want my pencil. There we go. All I'm doing is adhering this while you all send the best to Jennifer. Just add this. Just adhering my little silhouette to the background. I'm just going to add him here, like so. Just hold that down just so that it sticks. Just holding that down. Yes, and hugs to Gina as well. Got a piece of cotton there. There we go. So just add this here. I've got a piece of cotton, so my silhouette, that's it. You don't want every single little piece of the silhouette stuck down. You want a little bit of it sticking up, but I don't want his foot sticking up. I want his foot sticking down. And I can just see a little piece that I shouldn't have. There we go. So just stick that down. And then while we're just having a few moments, I'm just going to add some shading around my silhouette. I'm just going to add a touch of shading around my silhouette. And what I can do is I can take it off the pencil if I need to. So I'm just going to draw around my silhouette while we just take a few moments. So I'm just drawing around just to add some shading around the outside edge, just so that this will pop a little bit more. So I'm just adding a touch of shading just around my butterfly. He could be a she, absolutely, Chris. He or she, whatever you want, because definitely not, doesn't have to be he, doesn't have to be she. Absolutely not. So I'm just adding a little bit of shading around even though I've got cotton there, I just want to add a little bit of shading in a few areas just to make it pop. So I'm just adding it around here. So you won't see all the shading, but you'll see some of the shading. But it is definitely worth adding a touch of shading around the outside edge. This is a watercolour pencil. Yes, it's an Inktense pencil. It's an Inktense pencil, Colleen. Or you could use a Stabilo All pencil, any watercolour pencil, anything that blends with water or smudges with your finger. So you could use a distress crayon, but whatever you've got in your products, you could use. And with the Inktense, I can just pick a little bit of the colour up. If it's not showing up as much as I want to, I can pick a little bit of colour up, just get my water flowing, and then I can just add a bit of shading just around. And obviously, just remember, your oxide is going to react to that water also. So that will help to add the shading around the outside of the butterfly, because you're reactivating some of that distress oxide. So it will help with the shading around the butterfly. But I just think it's important to add that shading, even if you can't see it on camera. In real life, it's definitely worth it. You can definitely see the shading in real life. It just makes it pop in real life. So it is definitely worth it just to add that bit of shading. Sometimes the little touches are what makes it gives it the finishing touch. It makes it look more quality if you just add these little touches. Just if you add these little touches to your project. So just adding it round there. Now I didn't want to stick his hand down because I want it to have some life. I want it to have some life. And what I'm going to do now, on the same stamp set, hard to get in the States, Amazon only high prices. Oh, that's a shame, Hope. That is a shame. So what I've got here is I've had a small splurge there. Oh, where have you had a small splurge, Lucy? Oh yes, I had a small splurge there as well. Can you see here it says, with brave wings she flies. So I thought that was quite apt. So I'm going to use with brave wings she flies. And also I was thinking of adding this here. So this is going to go here, just to give me another layered element, because I want that layered element. And I've still got all these pieces left. So the stamp has got so much on it, even higher priced in Canada. There you go. This is the problem, isn't it? Some places are higher priced for some people. This is the only disadvantage. So I'm just going to blot off the excess. Just blotting the excess glue. There we go. Just to make sure that I don't have glue everywhere. Let's make sure it's straight. I'm just wiping the glue on my trousers like you do. But that just gives me that. Now just bear with me a second. I want some little screws for my little embellishment. So I just want to add some little screws in here. These little screw things. Are the sentiments from the same set? Yes, they are, Joe. The sentiments are from the same set. Absolutely. They're from the same set. So I'm just picking myself 2 screw heads just to add to the, just because it's a nice finishing touch. But yes, Joe, the sentiment is from the same stamp set, because if I just pick it up, if you see, Joe, it's got with brave wings she flies. It's got create your dreams. It has a heart without dreams is like a heart without dreams is like a bird without feathers. Nature. So it's got quite a few words in that set. So I'm now going to add these little screws to my project, just because it finishes it off properly. It doesn't just, I'm not rushing it, and so the project's not finished. That looks much better. So can you see that looks much better now? So I'm now going to cut my sentiments down. I love it. I love this stamp set, but it's just because Lucy had said, can you use some old stamp sets? And when you look at them, you realise that you've got these lovely stamp sets in your cupboard and you think, wow, I should use them even more. So you can, I'm going to have with Brave Wings, She Flies, whoops, but I've got another one somewhere. Haven't I got another one of these sentiments? Do you know, I spend my life looking for bits of scraps of paper. There it is, because I might stick another one. Staples has a 12 set of 27.49. They are a Tim Holtz one, Debbie. The screw heads are a Tim Holtz embellishment. They're a Tim Holtz embellishment. I'm just thinking before I do anything, I'm just cutting out the sentiment again, just before I do anything else, and before I decide where it's going, I'm just cutting out another sentiment before I decide where it's going, because I don't want to. So I could add with Brave Wings. No, you see, I like to play around just with. See, I prefer that. I much prefer that. Let me cut this down. I always talk to myself. I'm terrible for talking to myself. Just because I'm just deciding where I'm going to put things. And I don't just like to plonk them down. Normally I will take a picture, walk away, and then decide where it's going. So I'm definitely having this here like this. This is my new favourite. Oh, bless Joe, thank you. So I'm just adding that, and this adhesive will dry clear. It will dry clear. So if you wanted, you could even add this under her arm, or under the, like the butterfly. I keep calling it a ladybird. Do you know? It's because I don't know me. I've been looking at that many sets. I've even got my ladybird set out, and I keep calling it a ladybird. It's a butterfly. What am I like? I'm terrible. So I'm going to add with Brave Wings, because I just like how it comes out from the square a little bit. I just like how it comes out a little bit. And I like the fact it's at an angle, just to make it a little bit different. It just makes it a little bit different. With Brave Wings, She Flies. And then I can add the Brave Wings here. Thought there's, but it's Tracy's hair that's going in the, oh, is it my hair? Yes, my hair's my hair's blowing in the my hair's blowing in the fan, so it blows it in the camera. Sorry about that. I forgot about my hair. I forgot my hair. What am I like? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a couple of these jump rings. I've got a couple of these jump rings. So I'm going to add 3 jump rings, like so. Candidate. Oh, there you go. I like how you're all helping each other out. So I've got these jump rings because I want a metal embellishment, but I want it to coordinate with the circles in the background. So I don't want you to think, oh, she's just plonking jump rings on. I'm not. So I'm adding this because those jump rings just add and coordinate with the circles in the background. So it looks like that your embellishments, you're thinking about them. You're thinking about your embellishments. So I'm just thinking about the balance of those embellishment pieces. So don't worry about any glue because that will dry clear. So don't worry about it too much. Screw heads and brads on. Debbie's ordered screw brads. I love them. It just finishes your project off nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white splatters, and then we haven't finished. Let's finish a card professionally. Just a few white splatters, just here and there, not too many. Just make sure that's it. not too many. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add this like so to your black card, like so that it looks professional. And then what you're going to do, you've got that as your card, so that will be stuck down, and then this is the inside of your card. So what I'm going to do is just do the inside. Let me see if this will stick, allow me to stick this down without everything falling off. Let me see, because obviously I haven't given everything time to stick. So let me just see if I can stick this down without tipping the card upside down. So I'm just going to stick this just so you can see the card finished. So I'm just going to add this to the black mat like so. And let's finish it off properly. I can't have everything ski whiffed. There's no way I can have it ski whiffed. So then I'm just going to add it to the white. What we'll do is, before we add it to the white card, what we do is we're going to add an insert to the card. Let's not forget about the insert. So just move your card out the way. Just move your card out the way. Let me just see if this, just bear with me. I want to make sure. Right, what we've got now, let me show you what we've got. So I've done exactly the same, can you see, for the insert. So let me stick this insert in, because then you've got a professional card. So we're going to stick this insert in, like so. Just so that you look like you've got a professional card. So you're doing the inside and you're doing the outside. Ski whiff, oh yeah. We can't have a ski whiff or on the slant card. So we've just got to make sure that's straight. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add the butterfly here, like so, with the pen nib, okay? Because then you're using your leftovers for the inside of the card. So the inside of the card isn't forgotten. So I'm just adding this to here, like this. Just move that so. Just move that up so that we can add our pen nib. So add the pen nib. And it just means you're getting a professional finish to your card. So just place your pen nib like so. Just hold that down for a few moments. We're always wonky. We are in this group, definitely. We just appreciate the wonky. So I'm just allowing that to sit for a few moments, then I'll show it. Just so that the inside of your card coordinates beautifully with the outside. And of course, I would also add some shading around this piece as well. I would also add shading around here, because you're not rushing your card. You're thinking about the whole concept. And if you're giving this to someone, it looks like you've spent time. It looks like that you care about the recipient. So I'm just going to blend out the shading, and then we'll add the front to our card. So just add some shading round the outside, just so that it looks like we've finished the card properly. It just means that we thought about it. Let's just get that water flowing. There we go. Like so. And don't forget, you will blend some of the oxide ink as well, because oxide ink is reactive to water. So you will blend some of that as well. So I just think these little touches are worth it, just to finish it off, just to give a professional finish to your project, just to finish it off nicely. So don't be in too much of a rush to not finish it off properly. So just that. Oh, thanks very much. Thank you, Annette. Thank you. I just think it's important that sometimes we don't get to see the cards finished. So it is nice just to see them finished properly. Just finished with an insert. You don't always have to do an insert, but sometimes when you've got those leftovers, it seems a shame to not use them. So what we've got now is you've got your insert of your card. So there's your insert of your card. You then close that card and then this goes on the front. And it just looks like you thought about the whole design. And that's our card finished. And if I lift that up, you can see the shading around the butterfly as well. Just so you can see that. And this butterfly's got so many uses. But it could have had 2 wings, it could have 1 wing. But you can see the shading. You can see the layers in the background. This glue will dry clear, but I will just use my scissors to wipe a little bit away, just so that it's a professional card. And then when the recipient opens it, they've got a lovely inside as well, just so that it looks finished. So yes, for those ladies that joined me late, there is a little giveaway. So if you'd like to share the Facebook Live, that'd be wonderful. And then I'll do the giveaway in a couple of days. So that becomes the inside of your card, and that's the outside, which I'll stick down when everything's dry. When everything's dry, I'll stick it down professionally, just so it looks professional, like so. So it will look like that. There you go. I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed everybody's company as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. So they exist, but I can't get them. I'm not keen to build up the colours until I know I can get the re-inkers. Oh, what is this is re-inkers for? As they need to be wet. Oh, I missed that bit, you see. I missed that. Oh, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. It does come together. Once I get going, it comes together quite quickly. But sometimes when I've had a break, I just think, oh, what am I going to make? What am I going to make? But it's the stamps. The stamps inspire me to create, so I love creating with them. I just love working with them. And I just think with the insert as well, I just think the insert finishes that off beautifully. I just think it looks more professional. So we'll leave those open so you can see those. So I'm quite chuffed with those. So I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. So, and you know, it's lovely to be back. It's so lovely to be back and just creating and having your company. It's lovely. It's weird because when you've had a break for a week and a half, you think, have I forgotten how to do it? Have I forgotten what to do? So I always have them thoughts. I wonder if I still know how to do a Facebook Live. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'll probably, and we haven't been naughty, have we, Alison? We've been quite well behaved, haven't we? How boring. So what I'll do is I'll draw the winner on Friday night from the Facebook Live. So I'll draw the winner from the Facebook Live on Friday evening, and then I'll probably post on Monday. And for those that have just joined in the group, Karen Gartland has got a swap. If you want to see the swap details, it's in announcements, and also there's a file for the swap as well. So Karen's arranging a swap as well if anybody's interested. It's lovely to be back, Lorraine. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's lovely. I feel like I'm in my little comfort zone, back in my house. I just need to finish my craft room. I just need to finish my craft room. It's lovely to have your company, everybody. And I'll see you soon. I'll see when I can fit my next Facebook Live in, when I've got the other half of my craft room back in place. So it won't be long anyway, but we'll definitely be back. I'll probably use another old set, just to give the old sets an airing. And just because Lucy made a good point, you know, we shouldn't forget those old sets. So I'll probably will use another old set. So yes, especially now I'm so pleased. So I'll see you all in a few days. See you all in a few days. Have a lovely afternoon. I'm off to have my hair cut at 6 o'clock. My haircut at 6 o'clock. So I'll see you all very soon. See you all soon, everybody. Bye. Take care, everybody. Bye.